welcome to Still Whole Wellness YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Lori, and here is where healing happens every day. Today, we are going to discuss one of my favorite topics. We're going to talk about intentional parenting. So, intentional parenting is really important to me because I believe it is really a wonderful model to follow when you are a parent. It helps you to really stay centered and to stay focused on the type of individual you want to raise, right? I'm a very strong believer that in parenting, you absolutely have to take action. It is really silly to think that your children are just going to raise themselves. And in fact, when you look at society, some might not like to hear me say this, but it's the truth. When you look at society, you can definitely tell the children that were raised versus the children that just grew up. And it's something that I kind of pulled from my father's parenting manual because he was definitely the type of parent, he and my mother both were the type of parents that believed in raising their children. They actually gave instruction, they gave guidance, and I believe that it's the reason why myself and my siblings are who we are to this day. So, like I said, I'm going to give you 3 tips on what I use to be an intentional parent, okay? So, tip number 1 is I make sure to leave my ego out of parenting. Now, this is a really hard one because it makes you have to focus on yourself. All of these tips really make you have to really be present in your parenting and making sure that you are really paying attention to your own feelings, your own behaviors while you're parenting your children. So what do I mean when I say taking the ego out of parenting? The primary thing that I mean is I've never been one to believe that I am the only person that can teach my children. Of course, kids have school teachers. They have, my girls have definitely had dance teachers and music teachers. But what I really mean by that is that I am not the only person to teach them about life. And so with that, I intentionally and very strategically place different people in their lives to be teachers to them and to be models for them. So they have extended aunts and extended uncles. And that was very intentional. Again, intentional parenting, right? I had purposely placed these people in their lives because I understood that these were people of value. These were people that I knew would be able to be around and create a tribe type atmosphere for my girls, helping them to understand the meaning of life and all the different intricacies that we have in life, right? So that's tip number 1, is take the ego out of parenting, right? Tip number 2 is another one that can be challenging if I'm honest, and that is to be transparent. And it really kind of goes hand in hand with the first tip when I really think about it, because in order to, one of the ways that I find myself being most transparent is when I am doing things that are working on my own ego. So when I am wrong, I do my very best to make sure that I take ego out of parenting and I'm transparent with the girls and I tell them, hey, you know what? I screwed up. Now with this tip, of course, we have to keep things in perspective and make sure that we're delivering messages that are, of course, age appropriate and making sure that they're just appropriate, because not all things are really meant for our children to know, and especially not right away. But, I want to make sure that I'm very open with them. So what am I open with them about? Primarily, I'm open with them about my failures. Things that I have done wrong, things that I have messed up. I want to live that out loud before them, not to shine such a great light on it, but to help them to understand 2 things. 1, I'm a person too. Sometimes we get so caught up in, with our parents, and we kind of unconsciously put them on this pedestal and really kind of forget that they themselves are people. They themselves have had challenges that they've had to overcome. They've had issues. I've had learning disabilities. I've had all kinds of things that I've had to overcome to be the woman that I am today. And so it's very important for me to make sure that they are aware of my own shortcomings and misgivings, right? And then 2, I try and be transparent with them about just who I am as a person. I think it is very important for our children just to know us and to know more than just the fact that we go to work every day or that we're a student or anything like that. I want my girls to absolutely know me. I want them to know who I am. I try and remind myself all the time, as dark as it may sound, I remind myself that should something happen to me, I want my girls to be able to very confidently write my obituary and be able to do that simply because they know mom. Now, of course, that's a very dark thought to think, but it's my truth. I want them to know me well enough to where they could sit down and they could actually write that out and feel very confident that they've done a good job with that. Okay? So transparency, that's tip number 2. Tip number 3, and this is my favorite, and some of you who follow me on social media, you guys have probably heard me mention this before. Tip number 3, to me by far, is the most important tip. And that is to teach our children to listen to their inner voice, right? We all have one. There's no one who came here on this side and in this reality that doesn't have one. I consider it to be a gift from spirit, to be able to have that guiding system, to be able to know, should I go left? Should I go right? Am I going forward? Am I going backwards? Something that you are able to listen to that is going to guide you for you to be able to follow. So ever since they were very, very young, I've had almost a hands-off kind of an approach to parenting. Some might view that as lazy. Some might view it as not taking that action that I mentioned earlier, but it's very strategic in the timing that I do it. So it will be moments where maybe they're having a disagreement with a friend at school, and they might come to me and say, hey, mom, this is what's going on. What should I do? I won't necessarily jump right in to give an example or to give some solution to it. I will ask them, what do you think you should do? What is your inner guidance system telling you to do, right? And so different scenarios like that where I will put it back on them, and because it causes them to stop for a minute and to remember, oh yeah, I do have that internal guiding system that I can follow, that I can lean on. And again, I know it sounds dark. But the reality is that none of us know when we're going to leave here. And so I don't want my girls to be so focused and so accustomed to hearing my voice and hearing me that they forget that, oh, there is something else that is even better that is there that can guide me, something that is better and more wise than mom, right? So that's very, very important to me. So those are my 3 tips for intentional parenting. And of course, guys, I could go on and on about this because parenting really is one of my favorite topics to kind of get on my soapbox about. But I'll leave that. I'll leave you guys with that. So before I go, I just want to remind you guys that we do upload every Tuesday. Next week, we are going to be discussing the 5 master teachers that I have used in my life that have guided me on my wellness journey. The people who have guided me on my journey to healing, right? So there's 5 of them, and I cannot wait to share them with you guys. And I definitely am looking forward to hearing from you guys to know who you guys are following, right? Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Still Whole Wellness channel. This is where healing happens every day, and we're doing our very, very best, guys, to bring you some wonderful content, things that you can really use. In fact, before I let you go today, I want to mention a really awesome event that's going to be coming up August 15th. So Still Whole Wellness, My Enterprises, and Source Studio has decided to come together to bring this virtual conscious connection event. It is going to be absolutely dynamite. Everything that you can possibly imagine holistic is going to be at this event. So we've got oracle card readers, we've got many life coaching sessions, Reiki healing. We even have a juicing class. There is going to be a family yoga class that's going to be going on. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I'm so excited. And we just wanted to be able to do our part because of everything that's going on, to bring a little bit of love and a lot of healing into the world with everything that's going on with COVID and all of the Black Lives Matter, all of that kind of stuff that's going on in our society. We wanted to do our part, and we wanted to bring some healing to you guys. In fact, if you guys want to learn more about the event, feel free to visit our social media platforms. So on Facebook, you can reach us at Still Whole Wellness. On Twitter, you can reach us at Whole Still. and on Instagram at still_whole_wellness. Thanks for watching, you guys. Until the next video, you guys be well. Peace and blessings.